There we go.
Right.
Right.
Audio is alright. So, this is a quick talk about, as it says, how to improve communications in the construction business using technology. I'm trying to talk about general ideas rather than my bespoke product, just to give you some idea. So, if somebody out there wants to buy some software, these are the things that you can be looking for. So, a little bit about me first, just so you understand where I'm coming from a lot of things. So, my background is in engineering. I've got an engineering degree from the Simple University of Sheffield, not a good one. I've run 3 businesses in my life so far over the last 20 years. SR Networks, which was an IT business, SR Recycling, which I run at the same time for my sins, which were an electrical waste recycling business, and 1 Minute Management, which I'm doing currently. I'm technically and clinically a psychopath. Now what psychopath means is, it doesn't mean you go around killing people, it means you're very good at making snap decisions based on logic and not getting emotionally involved with things, which is, for what I do, I think is important. Yeah, I'm not sure enough, but I'm also in Mensa now. What Mensa does mean, it obviously means they think you're supposed to be clever, but that's not how I see it. What Mensa tests you on is your ability to look at things and find patterns and features in them. So what I'm good at is looking at databases and statistics and pulling useful information out of them. I've also been trained by an action coach, business advice for the last 10 years, and I wholeheartedly believe in their methodology, which is you do all your business by the numbers. Every decision should be based on numbers and not fingering air figures or guesswork. And then this links to what you were saying earlier. A guy called Frederick Winslow Taylor is like the actual precursor of anything to do with systemisation, time and motion and all that types of stuff. And a lot of what he says actually still resonates, especially with trains. So, what type of things do we do? The specific thing that we do is we systemise and streamline construction business by creating one bespoke program that everyone uses to communicate through. And the key thing there is one bespoke program. Why do we need to improve communications in construction industries? Something I've taught by my action coach guy is this phrase. So a business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. If it needs you there, it typically means that you've got a job. You just can't be sacked from it. Most small construction businesses are sort of organised like this, where you've got the owner slap bang in the middle and everything has to go through him. He manages the office, he organises the team, which is the lads on site, he liaises with the customers and he runs the business. As they get a little bit bigger, it tends to look a little bit like this. But you've still got a bottleneck, everything's trying to run through one thing. And what happens is, if you try and grow your business, your number of customers will increase. To compensate for all that extra work, your team's got to increase, and then your office has got to increase in size to compensate, so you can run that. Whereas that's an example of being inefficient. Your office shouldn't necessarily have to get bigger if the amount of work you get gets bigger. And your business suffers because it's not growing, despite that everything else has got bigger and more complicated. And this is a really simple graph around that sort of look. So the blue line is how big your business is, the red line is how much time you spend in managing it and growing it, and the bigger you get, the less time you spend, which again shouldn't be the case. It should be, if you want to invest a steady amount each time, you'd be doing it properly. The way the system should look is something like this. So you have the office that manages the team that are on site. The team that are on site, they manage the customers. The customers feed back information to the business and pay bills and do reports and things like that. And then the business then supports the office. The problem in construction business is you've got this built into it, which is your team and your customers in one side of the country and your office and your business are somewhere else. This causes problems because the communication line between your office and your team is constrained. You can't communicate as easily as if you were there. So it's harder to get information across. As well as that, whereas your team is supposed to be dealing with your customers, sometimes because you're not there and your communication's bad, you find your customers are actually telling your team what to do, rather than you. So that's not working. And then your customers, because they're then running your team, they don't think they're going to contribute to your business in filling forms out or telling you what's happening, so you get no feedback. And then what used to be a nice closed loop ends up going completely off the wall. So we want to get it back to that, because you've got that layout where you've got a circle. The more business you take on, all that happens is that circle just spins faster. You don't necessarily need to get a bigger office or anything else. So how can you communicate better using technology? How will it help that and facilitate that? I've broken this set down into a series of rules. So if you're looking for some software or something to run your business, these are, in my opinion, the rules that you should use. Number one, everybody must use one program or app. And to quantify this, I'm going to use an example of a fictitious, say like an electrical contractor that's working on site all the time. So what they're going to do, they're going to start off piecemeal. They're going to want to take photos of the reports. So they're going to get more like Site Audit Pro. They're then going to want to do certificates, testing certificates, so they're going to get I-certified. They're then going to need to do timesheets, so they know how much they're paying the lads, and then they're going to need some job management software so they know where they're supposed to go in on what day, etc., and get some information in. The problem with multiple systems is, when the business owner or the office wants to ask a simple question like, where are we at with this job? Are we on schedule? Are we on budget? Is it going to be done? Type of thing. You can't really easily answer that, because what happens is, you sort of think, right, well, I'll go to Site Audit Pro and I'll look at some pictures. That then means I need to look at the certificates to make sure that we did that right. Then I need to look at the job management thing to check something out of there. Then I've got to look back at the report and the photos to look there, look over there. And rather than actually answering a simple question, you find yourself playing this game where you never seem to be getting to the top. You just think you've got what you need, and you've got to backtrack and go somewhere else. So everything needs to be in one spot. There is one exception to this rule, and this is account software. Account software has got a very specific task, and you shouldn't try and go and get software that runs your business that also does accounts. They should be separate. And these are the things that I think they both specialise in. So the program app that runs your business should handle everything pretty much from enquiries all the way through to creating the invoice and everything in between. Like ordering materials, site visits, timesheets, valuations, variations, sign-off sheets and everything. The information it should provide is things like the effectiveness of your salespeople, the profitability per job and per customer, income by sales lead, so you know which sales lead source is working, stock levels, stock turn, the effective rate of your staff, which is the amount you're paying them per day divided by the amount of hours that they're doing, and calculating a gross pay for your staff. What your accounts are there for is to do things like debt chasing, calculate retentions, calculate your net payroll after tax, do your VAT for your year end, and the only information that you're going to get out of that realistically is monthly profit and cash flow. The next rule, if you're looking for stuff, is that the data needs to be as near to live or real time as possible. So basically, it means you've got a cloud computing. There's no other way around it. You know, the days are gone when you can basically go out and get a paper-based timesheet, because the issue with this is, at the best, if they have a weekly timesheet, it's going to be Monday the following week before you've even got any information in terms of what labour you've used on a job, and then you've got to faff around collating it. The one thing you've got to your advantage is everybody on the building site now has one of these around. Even the lowest of the labourer or apprentice has probably got a £200 to £400 smartphone in the pocket that's basically a mobile computer that you can use to help run your business. If you're going to buy something to run your business, you need to look at these things as well. So there's the platform it works on. Now there's two types of main phones out there, there's Android and there's Apple. You need to make sure that if you're going to buy something, it runs on both. Because basically, you're going to have lads on site, half are going to be on Android, half are going to be on Apple, and you are not going to get them to change phones. There's some software out there I know ServiceMate and a few others, but they'll only work on Apple. So that means like half your staff can't use it. And you've got more chance of sending your lads to site in a Mankini than getting to swap brands. You could think you need to look at Windows, but you don't need to look at Windows because you don't really have any software even installed or anything, it's just the data that we're talking about. Because most software nowadays typically comes through and it's done in a browser. So any computer with a web browser will work. And this is the type of information that you're trying to get hold of. This is something that we use in software development called the burn down chart. So what it means is we've started a project, on the left we've budgeted 33 hours for that project and we're going to get done in 13 days. So we draw a straight line between it. What the red line is how well and how fast we're progressing through that project. So to start with, we end up doing better than we thought. After the first week, we sort of projected we were going to finish early. But then 2 days later, we're actually completely out. I've yet to see any construction company that can get hold of this data on a site-by-site or even section-by-section basis. But you can do it if you get your data correctly entered. The next rule is the team should be provided with everything they might need to perform the entire task themselves or you'll end up doing it. So that means everything that they need to do needs to be on this smartphone. So some of the things that we put in our systems, just to give some examples, is you're going to need some sort of CRM type system. So that's to mean there so that the lads have got access to people's contact details, where site is, what needs doing, plans, drawings, information they're going to need. You're also going to need a timesheet section in there, because you need to find out what your labour costs on jobs are. So on hours, it's basically a glorified clocking in system. They clock in when they get a site, they clock out when they leave, and it tells us how long they've been on site, how much it's going to cost, and it tells us, and we can make sure that they're on site. On the one bottom left-hand corner, Bray Building Services, on there, we actually also ask them to tell us what's part of the job they're working on, so we can actually really drill down on where we are with things. You're going to need a variation section in there, because I've yet to see a construction company that doesn't do some variations, however minor. And they're quite easy. All you've got to do is just document what he's doing, then either the lad on site or back office quotes on it, gets signed off by site manager, emailed to client, and they get a nice report. You're going to need a photo section in there, so either to record errors or emissions that's gone wrong. Maybe there's, you can't get to your particular job because of something, so maybe you can charge day works. Maybe there's been an incident on site that basically stops you working, or if it's just to document your progress through that job, so you've got some ongoing evidence as you go along. And then final one is just some sort of report, certificate, some sort of custom documents that you can just knock out. Like Becky said, we don't want any PDF email. So one of the rules I've always had is, if you have to communicate directly with to explain what he's doing, then that's an example of a process that's not working. And I had one myself this week, which was entirely my fault. So we do some work for somebody, and we've developed a timesheet system that works. We pay lads per hour, we pay them for their extras, and we pay them on price. We didn't need to do day works. So we then found out that there was one job that we weren't paying day works on. So me being logical, trying to shortcut things sometimes, said, what we'll do is we'll just say, right, lads, just put 10 hours down, we'll put you down at £11.50, so it'll calculate exactly £115 a day. Brilliant. Best idea I've ever had for about 24 hours. And then what happens is, being human nature, exactly follow your instructions, so you get 10.2 hours, 10.01, 9.87, and in itself that doesn't matter, because it's minor amounts. The issue is, at the end of the week or the fortnight, when the lady that doesn't have the wages up, she's expected to see 575 quid for that week, but it's not, it's £583.12. So she then wonders why, has to go back through picking through all technical data to try and find out why. So it's an example of a system that's not working, it's a verbal one. So basically we're just going to create a day rate option to get around it. Rule 5, best systems already exist, simply copy them and get them built into your app or your program. Any problem that anybody's ever had, I've yet to see somebody else has not already solved it. Even the most technical, complicated question ever. So, an example of this, and there's many examples, is a Kanban or just-in-time system, which if you don't know helps you have stock. It helps you maintain and lower your stock levels and eliminate waste. So, we copied this for somebody from Toyota who developed it. All supermarkets use it. It's a fairly simple system, and basically how it works is your lads turn up to site in a van, they need a belt for a machine, they fit that belt, they go into the app, tell the app they've used the app then emails the wholesaler, they then reorder your belt, deliver it to office, and then next time man's back at office there's a belt they're waiting for. So it's just a constant replacement system. But the actual process behind it's been sort of done for decades by other people. So like I said, some people they can have problems that have already been solved. Rule 6, don't use one-off notifications like text, email or WhatsApp to try and tell people things, because they'll forget it or they've got an opportunity to ignore it. Only use lists, prioritise lists, so something like this. So for example, if I want Joe Bloggs to do these jobs for me, I might say, right, do job 1 first, then and only when you've done job 1 do job 2, because that's the order I want him doing it. He might really want to do job 4, and if I give him an opportunity to do it in any order, he'll do job 4 first. An example of this, we're dealing with a skip company who they're going to book jobs on against each skip wagon. But as well as that, they've got some jobs that are time dependent. Maybe the skip needs picking up at 12. So we're going to have it where this list will automatically reorganise itself. So as that job gets nearer and nearer to when it needs to be done, it will actually move itself up that list. The final rule I've got is what I call the hot potato technique, to help information flow through your business. And it avoids what do I need to do now excuse or issue. You get this a lot with office, it sometimes works with staff on site as well. So what you've got is a process, which is inquiry. You get an inquiry, you go to site to visit the job, you then quote on it, you follow it up on a sales angle, take a deposit, order materials, do work, and then send an invoice. Nice and simple. You've got 4 people in office and lads on site that between them do all that. The issue is, if you put all them in the middle, there's not really any accountability to who's supposed to do what, when, and in what order, or seeing who's actually doing what they should be doing. So the way we spin this round is, first of all, we actually split all the statuses up and order them by person. So Ben is obviously the sales guy, he's doing the initial inquiries and the follow-ups. John's the technical guy doing the site visits and the quotes. Sue's finance, Adam's purchasing, and the lads are doing the work. When you organise it like that and then put all the jobs back on, we can see straight away now that actually it's Ben who needs to pull his finger out, because he's got a lot of stuff that needs doing, so he knows what he's got to do. So how this would sort of flow is that he looks at job 8, that's an inquiry, he then actions that, then that ends up on John's list. He then looks at job 2, that's a follow-up. So he gets that covered off, that then ends up on Sue's list, because she now needs to take a deposit. He then looks at job 4, that's another inquiry, he actions that. So matter of a few minutes, John's now gone from thinking he's got a nice easy day to seeing that actually he's got a lot to do with that. So it helps force people and get them working it as fast as they physically can, that whole thing of the circular thing, where the faster you all go, the faster it goes. That's me. Any questions?
Any questions?